This morning we're in chapter 24 of Matthew, and I have this hospital bracelet, and it's in my office, and I see this hospital bracelet every single day. It's the bracelet I wore in 1965 when I drowned, and it's got my doctor's name on here. It's got my hospital number on here, and it reminds me that I can meet Jesus today. Let me give you the single most important key to spiritual health. The early Christians, the first Christians, lived by it every day. And today it seems that Christians neglect it. But without this key, it's hard to start the spiritual ignition of our heart, our spiritual health every day. Here's the key. You might meet Jesus today. Now, how many of you woke up and considered today that you might meet Jesus, that Jesus could return today? The early Christians did. Jesus told them to, because it says in verse 30, "And then the sign of the Son of Man will appear in the sky, and then all the tribes of the earth will mourn, and they will see the Son of Man coming on the clouds of the sky with power and great glory." Jesus is coming back, and when he does, he's going to gather all of his children together. Verse 31 says, "From the four winds, from the one end of the sky to the other." We must be ready to meet Jesus today. Like in Luke 12, it says the thief of the night. Also verses 43 and 44 in Matthew 24 talk about how we'd be ready if we knew the thief was coming tonight. You know, the simple truth is that we are one day closer to Jesus coming back than we've ever been in the history of our faith. Today, he could come back. That's a fact. Today, we could go meet him. Kobe Bryant and Gianna, they go to church, they have the Lord's Supper, they get in a helicopter to go to a basketball game, and 42 minutes later, they meet Jesus. You need to be ready to meet him today. Now, that's not meant to frighten you or scare you. It's meant to motivate you, to encourage you to a closer walk with God, and also an urgency to be sharing your faith with other people, what Jesus has done for you. If you live by that key, what's it going to do? It's going to do three things. One, it's going to keep you closer to God. Yes, you're going to be closer to God because, number two, you're going to be obeying God. When you see God tells you to do something and you do it, then you're closer to him and you're being obedient. And third, it's going to keep you from sin. Not that you're not going to be a sinner. We're going to fight that the rest of our lives, but it's going to help you be ready because you're living and being obedient and you're closer. Listen, live by this motto every day. Every day, I will live my life today as if I were going to meet Jesus. I will live my life every day as if I were going to meet Jesus today. Fall in love more with Jesus today. Fall in love with your Savior more today. Live your life and say, I'm going to love the Lord with all my heart, with all my soul, with all my strength, with all of my mind. Why? Because verse 37 says, the coming of the Son of Man will be just like in the days of Noah. For in those days before the flood, they were eating and drinking, marrying and giving in marriage until that day that Noah entered the ark. And they did not understand until the floods came and took them all away. So will the coming of the Son of Man be. Then there'll be two in the field, and one will be taken, one will be left. Two women will be grinding at the mill, one will be taken and one will be left. Therefore, because of everything that's been said, therefore be on the alert, because you do not know which day the Lord is coming. If the Lord comes today, be ready. If he doesn't come today, then live every day like he could come tomorrow. My mother, every day sang, "It could be today," holding my hand with this bracelet on, wondering if I'd live or die. It could be today, so we need to live by it. If not, we'll see tomorrow, Matthew chapter 25.